Hey dosers, my name is Paige Payne. I'm here on the Vista campus, and you might hate me for this, but some of you might relate. So I don't know if you guys are book readers or movie watchers, but when I read a book and I get to the parts that are like, oh, this is either scary or I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm really invested, like I really care, I definitely have to go to the last couple pages and make sure it all ends up okay, that I can continue to invest my heart in the moment. Or even like movies, I gotta like make sure there's a happy ending because ooh, I just get too freaked out. There's too many feelings in real life to have to feel them in a book or a movie. You know what I'm saying? But basically, the truth is that knowing the end of the story, that it's gonna work out in the end, actually helps me enjoy and get through and endure the rest of the hardship that's happening in the story before me. And I believe that that's actually God's hope for us as we walk through this side of heaven, as we are citizens of both heaven and earth, that as we currently live in the not yet of God's kingdom that is already our inheritance before us, that He hopes that we would latch onto and cling to the end of our story as believers. And let me just read this little verse for you out of Revelation. This is the future that we have for us. As we sit in this earth where there is pain, there is death, there is mourning, there is crying. For those of you today, I hope that's not the current situation that you are in, but we will all face it. We have faced it, or we are currently facing it right now. And this is the inheritance that we have for us, that in 1 Peter it tells us that it's unperishable, it's undefiled, and it is kept in heaven for us. This is it. It says, He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. That's our inheritance in heaven. No more of this brokenness, harshness, sadness, pain, turmoil. It will all be gone. But as we sit on this side, what does that do for us now? Yes, it's something that we can cling to, but as we talk about this concept of joy in the Lord, being full of joy, what does that mean as we sit in the already, as we sit right now, not quite yet fully in the kingdom of heaven, as citizens of heaven? What do we do right now? And I think we have this concept that joy is this thing that we just are full of vibrancy and exuberance and this like euphoric, like, wow, all the time, which I love living my life like that. But the reality is that's just not true all of the time. And maybe that's not even totally true for some people's personalities. You might not really relate with that. But I believe that joy is something different. And I want to turn to the book of Hebrews with you, Hebrews 12, as we look at just a glimpse, maybe a different facet of joy as we currently live as citizens of heaven, but our inheritance is as citizens, or we live on earth, but our inheritance is as citizens of heaven. So comes from Hebrews 12. This is actually talking about Jesus. And it gives us this word joy in a different picture than I think you and I relate with on a regular basis. And it says this. It says, let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. You and I, we might have this picture of joy that it's this super smiley, bubbly, like, oh, that person is full of joy. And yet Jesus in the book of Hebrews, he tells us that it was for the joy set before him that he endured the cross. So fellow believers, may we believe and may we cling to the fact that joy doesn't mean that we're necessarily like always like, this is so awesome and I love it. But that it was actually the joy set before Jesus that he went before the cross, that he endured it, that the process of going through pain and turmoil because of the end that it would accumulate to, that actually was able to be the reason he was able to endure it. So, believer, here's an encouragement for you on your day today, is that we have an inheritance in heaven that is undefiled, that can never perish, that can never be taken away from us, that one day every tear will be wiped from our eye, that there will be no more mourning, there will be no more pain, there will be no more death. And so whatever you are facing today, we can have joy because that has been set before us as we endure. And that the joy of the Lord that we may have today might just be enduring in peace, clinging to the maybe exuberant joy that we will experience one day. So, dosers, have a great day. We love you so much.